Hey, whippersnappers, it's Tortimer Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version. This week we are in our rival battles. Got out of the last gym and bumped right back into our rivals, who we haven't actually run into since we left the professor's lab with Hanu. So, very interesting to see how all of our teams have developed since then. Franklin gonna come in to take care of the weather that Max Juno was setting up. I liked the torque holes you guys were all using last week so much, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give one a shot myself. So that's what I went ahead and did. Franklin gonna throw up that solar beam, does nothing to Giggles. Giggles gonna laugh that off. Switch Franklin on out into Tika. Tika's gonna take the Dragon Pulse from Giggles. Tika's then going to force out Giggles, bringing in Oscar. Oscar is going to take the Rock Blast very well. Steel type obviously helping out a lot there. Even with the 5 Rock Blasts, not able to do much at all, so Tika's going to switch on out, bringing in Luna. Stealth Rocks get set up by Oscar. Oscar switches out in favor of Selgor. Selgor's going to take a hard foul play, considering that it's, well, I guess it's not resisted, it's neutral. Well, alright then, I would have thought that Bug resisted Dark, but I guess not. Selgor's going to go down, bringing in Locos, the Shinotic, Franklin's going to switch back in, taking the Spore and going to sleep. I think Franklin comes out at that point. No, Franklin stays in, hoping that he'll wake up there. With the switch out there, not really an issue, but the Dragon Pulse is going to land and do hard damage to Franklin. He does survive, but unfortunately Eruption is based on how much HP you have, and so does almost nothing, unfortunately. Giggle's going to set up the Rain Dance. Klungar going to switch on out, bringing in Hanu. Hanu's going to take that Dragon Pulse very, very hard. The Citrus Berry is going to heal up a bit, but Hanu is not fast enough without the priority to finish off Giggles, and I think I was going for Stone Edge there or something to that effect. At which point Bert is going to switch in, Giggles is going to switch on out, Locos is coming back in, going to take that knockoff. Does decent damage considering it's that one is resisted. Bert falls asleep to a Spec Spore, so he's going to switch on out. Klungar is going to come in, take a Strength Sap there, and then throw up the Sludge Bomb, Sludge Bomb. Fortunately, Mac predicts that, switches into the Steel-type Oscar. Klungar is going to throw up the Hidden Power Fire there, which is going to do okay damage, I guess, to Oscar. It's still going to take him like 3 moves to kill the thing. But Oscar gets some damage off on Klungar, going to get those rocks back up. And then Klungar is going to... No. Yeah, not the rocks back up. Yeah, the rocks never left. Mac misclicked there. Which is, yeah, it happens sometimes. But yeah, he as soon as he is like, oh crap, that's not what I meant to do. Because obviously rocks were already up. Bert is then going to take a couple of Flare Blitzes from Drenbo there and go down. At which point Tika comes in. Tika is going to be a little slow though, unfortunately, and going to go down to the Flare Blitz from Drenbo. Luna at that point comes in. Anytime somebody starts gaining any kind of momentum, Luna's the guy to go, or lady, I guess, lady to go to. She's able to withstand most hits and take care of what we've got going on here. If everybody's getting one shot, Luna's your gal. So Luna heals up and is going to take a couple of hits and then throw up the foul play, and even though it's not very effective, she's got enough power. Although, yes, that was a crit. But anyway, one way or another, Luna takes care of Embor. Giggles then comes in, and Luna is going to take a Dragon Pulse, going to survive that, get the Wish up, and then throw up the Protect so that we can get some heals going here. Shinotic switching back in. Protect fails because there was obviously no attack. Luna's going to heal up and then throw up the foul play against the Shinotic, which does absolutely nothing. Luna is able to withstand the Moonblast, but gonna get that Wish up and then use it to switch in to Franklin. But unfortunately, Franklin goes down immediately. Venusaur is gonna switch in then and throw up the Sludge Bomb, taking out Locos there. I believe, yeah, the Wish still in play, lands on Klungar. Juno then switches in. We get the Giga Drain off. The Mirror Coat gonna land, doing decent damage to Klungar. Klungar is then going to go for the Sludge Bomb, getting Juno down to 2% there. Leech Life going to help heal up Juno a little bit. Klungar is then going to throw up the Sludge Bomb once more and finish off Juno. And then Giggles is coming back in, and Klungar is going to use that Synthesis, get back up to full, Giggle's going to set up the Rain, and Giggles has the Hydration ability, which we'll see here in a minute, because we get into a little bit of a miniature stall war at this point. Giggles is going to get poisoned a couple of times. We get pretty good RNG with the poison, but the Hydration allows Giggles to heal off any status at the end of every turn when in Rain, and so keeps losing the poison before even taking any damage. So Klungar not able to get any chip damage going, and I don't have a Leech Seed on this Venusaur, so not able to get any of that going as well. Then we're just kind of in a struggle here. I healing up a bit. Max setting up the Hydration. I believe he's got Recover and or Rest on this thing as well, which obviously the hydration, yeah, there goes the rest. The hydration is going to get rid of the sleep status. I actually tried running a similar status or strategy on my Barbroach in Low Cut Federation, although I don't know if I've ever successfully pulled it off or not. No, I attempted to this week, yeah, and I forgot that I changed up the set, and I forgot to set up Rain Dance before I used Rest, because previously I did a Resto Chesto one, or Rest Talk anyway. Mac, I decided to just go for it and not throw up any synthesizes or anything like that, because I'm like, okay, Mac's definitely going to win this stall war. I can't poison him. He can rest off anything I do. Sorry. And so I just decided to just let him finish it there. So, yeah, the first of many very, very close battles this week. Mac takes the first battle. So thank you so much for participating, Mac, and for starting my week off with a loss. I appreciate it. But no, again, this was the first of many, many close battles. It was a very close week for a lot of us. So let's jump into the next one and see what else we've got. I think we've got 10 more battles to go. So here we go. Alrighty guys, battle number 2 up against Update 124, who seems to be a fan of Emir, and starts off with, I will avenge Emir, and so Franklin comes in, gets the sun going, is going to throw up the eruption, and then Update cleverly uses the Destiny Bond to get Franklin off the field. Klungar at that point is going to switch in up against the Parasite, throws up that Sludge Bomb, doesn't really do a whole lot here, and I don't really want to sacrifice Klungar, so I think at this point, yeah, Klungar is going to come out, bringing in Bert. Bert's got that Mold Breaker. Parasite generally carries Levitate, but Bert has the Mold Breaker and is able to outspeed and finish off the Electros, or whatever that thing's called. Captain Crunch then switches in, throws out the Protect, but we switch as well, so not able to use that. Throws up the Earthquake there, but we're going to throw up the Giga Drain, which is going to get us all that health back. In fact, exactly that amount of health back. At that point, Swirl is going to come in, and this is a Pokemon I'd never seen before. I think I see it once or one or two more times this week. But this is a Flying Rock type that is apparently new to the Gen 7. I never ran across it, but it's an interesting little dude. And Scad and I were talking earlier, and it seems like this guy probably doesn't belong in RU. It's definitely got some good strategies and things going with it. I think it probably can stand to go up a tier or two. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but Hanu's Stone Age, I guess it's unfortunate for me, but Stone Age doesn't manage to kill the Toucanon. And then Hanu's going to go down to a Bullet Seed. Tika's going to come in and take a Rock Blast, but just barely survive it there, unfortunately. Unfortunately missing with her Rock Blast and going down. So that's unfortunate. Tika not really doing much for us there. Luna going to be able to come in and take a Brick Break and finish off the Toucanon with the Foul Play. Then Windows 7 comes in. Luna's going to throw up that Wish, expecting an attack, and so we've got the healing already incoming. We'll throw up the Foul Play there, expecting that we can withstand whatever Porygon's got, so we can at least start doing some chip damage of our own. Luna is then going to get the heal, but well, the Synchronize there is very helpful, actually, because our moves are just not really doing it. We got the Heal Bell, so Luna can get rid of the Toxic on herself. Windows 7 able to recover off the damage, but unable to switch out. Eventually that Toxic damage is going to build up to a status where Windows 7 is not going to be able to deal with it anymore. So we kind of just are waiting for that to happen. Luna is setting up the Wish again. I can't remember. No, Luna's staying in, getting down the Toxic there, and and then the Toxic finishing off the Porygon. So a pretty close little battle there. We still had Bert. I was trying to remember his name. We still have Bert in the wings, but a very good battle there. Could have gone either way. So thank you so much for participating this week. Update 124. I appreciate some fresh blood in on this series. But yeah, we got a lot to get through. So thank you once again, and let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, rival Just Me though shows up, and Franklin coming in once again and setting up the sun, getting those rocks going there. Just Me though's starter is his Kadabra, which we'll see at some point during this battle. Franklin throws up the Eruption, which is going to finish off the Galvantula. Heracross coming in, and it's going to throw up that Close Combat, which is going to finish off the Torkoal there. Torkoal goes down, and Heracross getting some boosts from that Moxie. Tika switching in, and Avalugg going to come into a Brave Bird. Able to survive that, and but does decent damage, so not too bad. And then the Brick Break going to be able to finish off the Avalugg. At which point the sunlight fades, Heracross comes back in, Tika is going to avoid the Stone Edge and throw up the Brave Bird, finishing off the Heracross. So we got kind of lucky with that, but I guess that's the risk we take when we use moves that are super powerful but don't have perfect accuracy. It happens. Luna is going to come in and synchronize the Thunder Wave onto the Kadabra, taking that super effective Hidden Power Fighting. Luna is then going to throw up the Heal Bell, I think? No, Luna is paralyzed and cannot move. I think I'm actually attempting to go for the foul play there, as I do here against the Jellicent. But I think we do get a couple more RNG para-hacks going here, so I decided to just chime that bell, get the healing off, and or the paralysis off, and then I realized we're not really doing anything to Jellicent at all. These things can stall you out too, they can recover, they can do all kinds of things. I'm not interested in that, so say forget it. Let's bring Tika in. We end up getting lucky that they go for the Shadow Ball at that point. Tika able to withstand that just fine, but going down to the Ice Beam that comes just after it. Bert then coming in. Bert's going to throw up the knockoff here, I believe. And yep, throws up that knockoff, takes the switched in Braviary down to 11%. Hanu going to switch in and take the Brave Bird there. Then we're going to throw up the Aqua Jet and finish off the Braviary. So that works out pretty nicely for us, at which point Kadabra switches back in. Going to take an Aqua Jet there, but Hanu cannot take a Psychic. In fact, Hanu can't take a whole lot of hits. I think he even has a solid rock ability, but that only helps against super effective hits, I suppose. But yeah, he can't take much. Luna then going to finish off the Kadabra. Jellicent then coming back in. We threw up the Wish, so Luna can take a little bit of a Shadow Ball there, which doesn't do a ton, but it does lower our special defense, so that could become problematic. But that Wish going to land, healing us back up there as the Jellicent gets some leftover damage back. Still after everything, up in the 70th percentile. Shadow Ball landing on Klungar. Klungar is going to start throwing up the Giga Drains here, I believe. Ice Beam doing decent damage. Giga Drain doing even better, though, and getting us almost back up to where we were prior to the Ice Beam. And Leftovers getting us better. No, Klungar does have Leftovers. Really should have Black Sludge in case of any thiefdom or anything like that, but that's alright. Klungar going to take an Ice Beam and unfortunately get frozen. The RNG freezes poor little Klungar, and going to take another Ice Beam from the Jellicent there. Frozen still. Unfortunately, the RNG doesn't let us off the hook too quickly. Klungar still frozen, decides to pretty much just go down cryogenically, and Klungar is going to go down to that final Ice Beam. Bert then switches in. Bert's going to throw up the knockoff here, getting the Jellicent down in a more manageable range than anybody else had been able to, but then the Recover comes and is going to put us in a bit of a stall thing here, kind of just hoping for a crit at some point, but they go for the Shadow Ball this time, probably just not wanting to stall it out, and Bert able to finish off rival Just Me though's Jellicent with his final hit. Okay, so thank you guys, or not thank you guys, we've got a lot more to get through before I thank all of you, but thank you so much for participating in Just Me, though. I greatly appreciate it. Another very close battle. You know, just one way or the other, that could have gone bad for me. So, thank you so much for participating. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, battle number 4 up against rival Codeman, and Codeman came at us with just a 5 Pokemon team, and that's why it's a little embarrassing how close this battle really was. Gerald going to get off a Brave Bird against Hanu. Hanu's going to also take a Jump Kick there, eat his Citrus Berry, and then throw up the Stone Edge, which lands on the Dodrio. Dodrio going down, PD coming in, the Galvantula is going to set up some webs here, I think. No, throws up that Volt Switch, and going to switch on out into Arnold. Arnold, this Turtonator, is a bit of a beast. He gets a Shell Smash going here in just a second. Yes, Shell Smashing it up. I'm not sure why the switch into Franklin was what I chose to do, but not wanting to take a hit, I guess I figured Franklin could take a hit better than most. Hanu going to take that hit and go down, at which point Bert switches in. Unfortunately, Bert is going to go down to a Flamethrower as well. It takes me a minute or two here to realize that I probably should have switched into Luna. She's, as I said previously, she's kind of my wall there. Somebody starts setting up and Luna can usually come in and figure it out, but instead of bringing her in immediately, I decide to be stupid and sacrifice Hanu, Tika, and Bert to the altar of Turtonator. So, that's a bit unfortunate. Luna going to switch back out. Franklin coming in and setting the sun back up, taking the Bug Buzz from Petey. Unfortunately, Franklin's not going to be fast enough to get a move off on Petey, and he's just going to go down to the Galvantula, leaving me with Klungar and Umbreon. Klungar's going to be able to finish off Petey, and then the sun's going to come out. Cherokee, Codeman's starter, going to take a hard Giga Drain from Klungar there. The Stamina is going to activate. The Earthquake's going to do decent damage to Klungar, but Klungar's going to be able to finish off with a Giga Drain there, and Cherokee is going to go down. Which point, skipped leg day, the Golispod comes in. The Giga Drain does okay damage, not terrible. The ability is not going to activate, though, exit card or whatever, because he's got nobody to switch into. We do get the poison off on the Golispod, but healing up himself and killing Klungar with the Leech Life is unfortunate. Luna able to throw up the Protect, avoid the Leech Life for one turn, but not enough poison damage racking up, and the Foul Play is not going to get us close enough as Skipped Leg Day, able to finish Luna off with a Leech Life and take us out. So we got very, very close there, but even with only 5 Pokemon, Codeman able to defeat us. So very good work this week, Codeman. It's impressive. Embarrassing for me, impressive for you. You had a great showing there, so congratulations. If I hadn't sacrificed half my team to Turtonator, it may have turned out a little bit differently, but I'm not so good at the strategy, and so it takes me a second to realize, oh god, yeah, I should have done this, obviously. So, but anyway, not to take away from your victory, thank you so much for participating so much, Codeman. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against rival Shonosaurus, and Shonosaurus leads off with his Electivire, coming at us with another 5 Pokemon team. Let's see if we can't do any better here. Tika switches into the Earthquake there. Nigel is going to come in. I decided to switch out, which probably wasn't the smartest move. I did have Bullet Seed on Tika, but Bert able to come in without it taking any damage and finish off the Kabutops there. Tika then switches in, going to take a hard Drill Peck from Don. Don's going to be able to outspeed and finish off Tika there, getting that Moxie boost. Hanu then switches in. Don going to throw up the Z power there. Z Snatch is going to steal Hanu's Shell Smash. So that's unfortunate. And now Shonosaurus has a Behemoth here as I go for the Stone Edge. Unfortunately, it misses, which is terrible. The RNG gods not liking us there very much, and Don able to take out Hanu there. I'm like, alright, we'll bring in Luna. She's able to handle this stuff, and thank God she does, because she's able to withstand with 2 HP and land the Foul Play, which is enough to finish off the Honchkrow. Luna going down to an Earthquake from the Electivire. Bert is going to take an Earthquake from the Electivire as well, but throw one back at it and be able to take it down. At which point Muriel switches in. Muriel is going to go up against Franklin. Franklin switches in, throws up the Drought. The Bulk Up coming from the Go-Goat here. Franklin is going to take a hard Earthquake and go down. Critical hit. Probably didn't matter specifically, but Klungar then switching in, throwing up the Sludge Wave, doing good damage to Muriel, getting that poison going. Klungar able to take that Earthquake pretty well. And then we'll get another Sludge Wave going here. Sludge Bomb. I keep saying Sludge Wave. Sludge Bomb finishing off Muriel there. Which point Crossbones switches in, and we get a good Sludge Bomb going there. The Flamethrower unfortunately going to land, and with the sun that we set up, get extra boosted and finish off Klungar. Crossbones is very close to death at that point. Bert going to come in, and unfortunately Bert is not fast enough nor healthy enough to withstand a turn from Crossbones, and even though they both go down at the same time, spectacular anime style, as Yesh described his win last week, we give one final blow to each other and both go down, but Shonosaurus takes his battle. So I go down twice in a row to 2 5-Pokemon teams. Maybe that's the secret, folks. Just don't bring 6 Pokemon and you'll be alright. No, but the Shonosaurus battled very well this week. Thank you so much for participating, Shonosaurus. I greatly appreciate it, and good battle. Lots of good battles this week. Alrighty, let's jump into some of those other good battles, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, up against the Espresso Cat, and rival Espresso Cat leads off with Dizer, his Gorgeist. Franklin is going to throw up the rocks. Charles is going to throw up the Earthquake, and then Franklin gets a good Solar Beam off on Charles there. Franklin not going to be able to be fast enough to withstand another Earthquake, so switching out into Tika. Tika throwing up the Brave Bird and finishing off Charles. Almost went for the Bullet Seed without thinking, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I need, a 4 times defense Mudspray, or Mudsdale. Tika able to finish off the Poliwrath with another Brave Bird there. Severely burned though, and almost dead. Nina comes in, and Nina throws up the Calm Mind. Tika gonna get the Rock Blast off, but Nina's a pretty defensive Pokemon apparently, and able to withstand that, no trouble whatsoever. The Burn going to finish off Tika as Luna switches in. Nina throws up the Magic Coat. The Foul Play is going to do good damage anyway, though. I'm not sure what Magic Coat does. Is that a status ability thing? Anyway, Luna throws up the Foul Play up against the Absol and does good enough damage and able to withstand the play rough, so figure let her finish it off. At which point Rhea comes in. Rhea is going to get put in some sunlight there by Franklin. Franklin able to withstand the hit, but not going to be fast enough to outspeed the Rimbombi. So Rhea's going to take down Franklin. At which point Klungar switches in. Rhea's going to switch on out. Nina's going to come into a Sludge Bomb, which will be just enough to finish her off. At which point Deezer comes in. Klungar is going to throw up the Sludge Bomb, doing good damage to the Grass type. Will-O-Wisp lands on Klungar. But we're not using our physical attacks, so it's just going to be a little bit of chip damage there for ECAT, which will hopefully be helpful to him. The Rock Slide going to land, doing a little bit more damage. He doesn't get the flinch though, and that Hidden Power Fire is going to finish off the Gorgeist. Klungar then is going to go up against the Rimbombi. Rimbombi is going to be fast though and get that Leech Life off. Klungar able to land the Sludge Bomb though, and 4 times effective hit, finish off the Espresso Cat. So, thank you so much for participating this week, ECAT. I greatly appreciate it. Cool little team you put together there. Nice to see, I believe Deezer was your starter, if I remember back to the first rival battle. So, nice to see your team evolving into the RU tier. I greatly appreciate your participation. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, up against rival Celine Eleanor, and she leads off with Nose Pass, and Franklin's going to throw up the Stealth Rocks there, take a Volt Switch from Nose Pass as Nose Pass comes out. Lantern then going to switch in, and I had a Solar Beam all racked up for Nose Pass there, so Lantern is able to take that just as well. Klungar switching out and taking the Scald intended for the Torkoal. Klungar is going to take that very well, throw up a Giga Drain of his own, and finish off the Lantern there. Celine is then going to bring in Regice. Regice is going to take some rocks damage there, force out Klungar, bringing in Bert. Bert's going to activate that Mold Breaker, take a Thunderbolt from the Regice. Regice is going to switch out in the face of the Fighting type, bringing in Donphan. The Close Combat does good damage to the Donphan though, and so I believe I allow Bert to just kind of stay in and finish it off. Yep, Bert finishes off the Donphan with another Close Combat, Donphan going down. At which point Cecilgor is going to switch in. One of my most recent real-world shinies is actually a shiny Shelmet, so kind of cool to see a shiny Cecilgor in here. It's kind of neat coloration. I should see if that thing has any kind of competitively viable abilities or natures or anything like that. And down goes Tika and the Cecilgor. Nosepass switches in once again. Franklin setting up the Drought, and then probably going to throw up another Solar Beam here. Unfortunately, we're going to be paralyzed, so that's not going to happen. Nosepass switches on out, bringing in the Bronzong. Bronzong is going to take, no, Bronzong is going to take nothing. Franklin paralyzed once again, switching out. I decide to bring in Luna. Luna takes that, takes that attack very well, throws up the heal bell, heals Franklin's paralysis. The signal beam coming up from the Bronzong. The foul play coming from Luna, able to do very good damage. Bronzong healing off with the citrus berry there. A signal beam landing, healing up a little bit with the leftovers. Decide to go for the wish at that point, and then we're going to go ahead and I think, nope, we switch out, bringing Franklin back in, setting up the drought. Unfortunately, this time though, Franklin not going to withstand the move coming in, and Klungar is going to come in with the hidden power fighting, boosted by the sun. The psychic doing a lot of damage there. Throwing up the hidden power fire again, finishing off the Bronzong there. I feel like the last time we switched Franklin in and he died, and then we switched Klungar in immediately, that Klungar got the wish, but apparently not in this instance. Torkoal is just in vain. Bert gonna come in, take that close combat, and then the sun is going to fade, leaving us just up against the Nosepass with Bert, and Bert able to finish off Nosepass. No trouble at all. So thank you so much for participating, Selena Eleanor. I greatly appreciate it. A cool little team you built up here. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves as the tiers go on. But we got a lot to get through. So thank you so much once again, Celine. Let's jump into it, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, here we go up against rival Scad, and Scad leads off with Stampy, the second Don fan we see this week. Franklin is going to throw up the rocks, but then take a hard earthquake and go down. Stampy coming out the better on that particular exchange. Klungar then switches in with the Chlorophyll ability, outspeeding the Don fan, getting that Giga Drain up, and Scad able to rapid spin off the rocks that Franklin so valiantly gave his life to set up. Klungar throwing up that Sludge Bomb, doing some good work on Nipper, but the double Citrus Berry there, thanks to Cheek Pouch, able to do really good with healing it back up. Klungar getting paralyzed, and I should have predicted that switch, but I did not. Well, I figured as soon as I clicked it that Scad would switch, but I was just like, well, whatever. If she doesn't, then we'll at least kill this thing. Luna then comes in and forces out the Metang. The foul play doing pretty decent damage to Ursula, but knowing that superpower is coming, I bring Klungar back in. There goes the superpower, setting up the stats for the Malamar there. Klungar taking a hard Psycho Cut and going down, at which point Tika switches in. Tika's going to take a Night Slash and survive it, throwing up the Brave Bird, finishing off the Malamar there, so Ursula going to go down. Tika unfortunately going down as well, thanks to Recoil and Life Orb damage. Hanu switches in, shields down. We get two Shell Smashes going here at once. So we've got this other little Minior thing coming in, which is a very cute little Pokemon, and I actually really like it. It's able to do some pretty good damage here with the Shell Smashing and all that. It really doesn't belong in this tier, but you know, who knows. Luna's able to switch in and go down in one hit. So even Luna, my trusty wall there, not able to do anything in the face of this monster. And Scad is going to take me out 5-0. So Scad not too happy about me going undefeated last week in the Fire Gym. Figured it was her time to put me back in my place, and so there she goes, wrecking me for all the world to see. So thank you so much for participating again this week, Scad. I greatly appreciate it. As always, you always bring a special level of challenge to these things. So thank you so much for participating once again. Let's jump to the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against rival Klungar, and Klungar leads off with the Drill, the Nidoking. Franklin going to take a hard Sludge Wave and throw up the Stealth Rocks, coming on out, bringing in Klungar. Klungar is going to go down to one hit with that Flamethrower there, so Klungar killing Klungar. I think we've had that happen before too. Scad maybe killed Scad at one point or another. I guess that'll happen when I name Pokemon after my subs on occasion. Hanu coming in, and this freaking Swellow, man. This freaking Swellow with its stupid boom burst garbage crap. I just hate it so much. And unfortunately I had the sun up, so it wasn't even worth trying to go for the Aqua Jet to finish the thing off. Tika unfortunately able to withstand a boom burst, but not able to land the rocks there, and it takes me a couple of Pokemon once again to be smart enough to bring in Luna and finish off the Swallow. Swallow's going down. Blazing then switches in. Luna's going to take a hard Flare Blitz and die. And then we will bring in Bert. I don't want to bring in Franklin at this point because I honestly have no desire to boost the Flare Blitz with more Sun. But Franklin comes in and he's very low anyway, so that Flare Blitz 100% going to finish us off. And Klungar goes 4-0, embarrassing me once again in my own series. So thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. No. We had so many good battles this week. I'm not even mad. So thank you so much for participating, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Rival Klungar putting us in our place once again with our own fire types. Well, we didn't use Darmanitan, but still, you guys understand. All right. Actually, you guys had the fire types. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Alrighty, guys. Up against rival Admiral Emulot, and Admiral Emulot's coming in with the Porygon 2. Yes. No, this is Porygon 2. Yeah. No. Yes. Porygon Z's not connected. It's all floaty. I was like, wait, is Porygon 2 the round one? Anyway, Franklin throwing up some moves here, but as our health goes down, the power of our attack does as well, so we switch out as the Porygon 2 is going to heal off all that damage anyway. We get the Poison Jab going because I falsely predicted that Admiral Emulot would switch out, expecting a close combat, would probably switch into the Shine Attack, which I figured the 4 times effective Poison Jab would be worth going for. Unfortunately, he did not switch, and so Bert ended up just using a super ineffective move. We throw up the foul play there. Even with the critical hit, it's not doing anything to the team here, but we do get lucky and synchronize the Toxic, so that works out pretty well. It's not really luck. That thing's been throwing up Toxics left and right, so can reasonably expect that it'll happen. Most people don't remember about synchronize, so able to get that going. We are able to land, even though it's not a very effective. It's not a crit, but we do great damage to the Grass Fairy type there. They switch into the Ghost type Sandygast? That might be the pre-evolution. I don't remember. Anyway, Klungar is going to force out the Sandygast there. The Grass Fairy type Shinotech switching back in as Klungar throws out the Sludge Bomb, finishing it off once and for all. At which point Klungar will take a little bit of leftover damage, or leftover health, and then the Dodrio comes in, throws up that Brave Bird, hitting Tika pretty hard, and Tika's not going to be fast enough to get anything going, so Tika will just go down. Priority. Tika was never going to have a speed priority. Hanu then switches in and takes a quick attack, but going to throw the Aqua Jet on up, finishing off the Dodrio. And so at least we're up in numbers at this point. The Sandygast, no, Palosand. Palosand? Anyway, Sandygast must be the pre-evolution. Hanu going to take a hard Earth Power after Shell Smashing and go down. Definitely not the first time that's happened to Hanu this week. Frankly going to set up the Sun so Klungar can get the speed boost from Chloroform. Then Klungar is going to force out the Palosand. Klungar throws up that Giga Drain, not going to really do much to the Porygon, unfortunately, though. Gets us a little bit of health back, and Porygon going to get a little bit of toxic damage going. But Porygon able to recover off most of that damage, so not really getting us anywhere. Klungar coming back out, bringing in Bert. Bert, at this point, is going to take a Signal Beam, and then Porygon is going to throw up the Toxic, but that's going to miss as Bert lands the knockoff. Again, I expected the switch, figuring, okay, if he brings in Palosand again, but Emulot being smart, probably like, okay, he's going to think I'm going to switch to this, so we're just going to stay in. But either way, Porygon went down to the Toxic damage, so that worked out okay. Franklin comes in and is going to take the Attract. The Liquidation doing pretty good damage in the Sun. I guess it is super effective, but it's a beast of a move. Klungar is going to come in and make use of the Sun here. The Crustle switching in for the evolution of Dewpider. I don't remember. Araquanid. Anyway, Klungar up against the Crustle. Crustle is going to go down to a final Giga Drain here, taking it out. At which point, Palosand switches back in. Klungar is going to Giga Drain that as well. Klungar is going to take a hard Earth Power, but going to be able to withstand it well enough to come back in and throw up another Giga Drain. Unfortunately, not going to finish it off, but Klungar going to do it the next turn. Just would have been cleaner if we did it all at once, but that's okay. At which point, then, the Araquanid is going to switch back in. Klungar gets a Giga Drain there, not enough to get us above above yellow there, wanted to get back into the green, but not going to happen. Klungar gets attracted as well, but not going to be a fool like Franklin, and is going to attack anyway. He knows she doesn't love him. And there he goes, throwing up the sludge bomb once again. The liquidation getting Klungar very close to dead at this point, but we're just going to do what we can do. Klungar is immobilized by love there as it protects itself, but on the next turn, immobilized by love as well. Yeah, Klungar goes down then, I guess. Klungar going to go down, and bringing in Franklin. Franklin is going to take a liquidation. Unfortunately, it's going to be just enough to finish off the fiery tortoise. Bert then switches in, and at least we got the sun to weaken the power of liquidation. Bert doesn't have anything that's going to be real great against the bug type, so we're just kind of going for the earthquake there. The liquidation doing pretty good damage to Bert, and the Araquanid is going to be throwing up the protect, trying to stall out the sun so that the liquidation's power won't be lowered by the harsh sun's rays. Throwing up the attract there, Bert is going to go ahead and I think he does Earthquake, but unfortunately the Protect is up, so not going to be able to do what we need him to do. And then throwing up the other Earthquake here, down to 2%, but he's going to go down to a Liquidation now that the sun is gone, leaving us just with Luna, and Luna thankfully has some pretty good health left to her. The leftovers is going to heal up the Araquanid a little bit here. Toxic hurting us a fair bit, but Luna able to outspeed and finish off with a foul play, not even having to withstand the liquidation. So that works out pretty nicely. That liquidation move is a bit of a beast. It's kind of crazy. So thank you so much for the battle, Admiral Emulot. I greatly appreciate you joining us in this rival week. It's awesome, and you put a really cool team together there. We almost took me out. Another very close battle for this week in the bag. Holy crap, we're going to be like over 40 minutes for this week's episode. How did that happen? Lots of long, that was a 46 turn battle. Lots of long, very close battles. So let's jump into, we have one more battle today. We're going to jump into that, and then we'll jump into the spreadsheet, figure out what we're doing for the gym battle next week. Holy crap, we got to go. Here we go. Alrighty guys, our last rival battle for the week. Amir is bad at Pokemon, and he is coming at us this week. Decided to get back to his roots. He had a very successful first week in the series with becoming the ground gym leader. He's been trying to shake things up in his journey for redemption on me taking his badge, but has decided to go back to his roots and bring out his ground types. His starter, Ken's, who he's had at his gym, has come with him all the way and is now evolved into a Steelix. So Bert coming in, going to throw up the close combat here, finish off the Lilligant? No. Something. Creep. Bert then going to switch out. Lady Lumps is going to throw up the Fire Blast on Tika. Tika going to go down. Basically just death fodder at that point, because Bert is choice banded, so I needed to switch him out in order to get Earthquake back on the table. Able to finish off the camera up there. At that point, Marowak going to come in, Bert switching on back out. Expecting we'll need him later on. Klungar coming into the Earthquake, able to take that pretty well. And then we're going to throw up the Giga Drain here, but going to switch into Ken's, his new Steelix there. Steelix takes a little bit of damage and helps us heal back up a bit, but Klungar going to switch out, bringing in Luna. Luna's going to take a hard Iron Head from the Steelix, and then going to throw up the Heal Bell there, which is going to heal Franklin of his poisoning and Bert of his poisoning. Taking another hard Earthquake there, Luna is going to get a little bit from leftovers, throw up that Wish, but the Iron Head is going to be enough to finish him off. I was kind of sitting there, I was looking at his calculations on the side, I'm like, okay, if he Earthquakes, Luna will survive, but if he goes for that Iron Head again, Luna's going to go down. And Amir was smart enough to go for the Iron Head, finishing off Luna there. Bert able to get the close combat off and then collect Luna's Wish, so healing back up completely. Franklin then coming in, setting up the Sun. Going to take a power-up punch from the Marowak, so we got lucky that it wasn't an Earthquake. But there comes the Earthquake, and Franklin going to go down. I think that was a sacrifice play. Klungar is then going to throw up the Giga Drain, getting some good damage on the Marowak, but going to take a hard Fire Punch in our own Sun, and going to be able to finish off Marowak, but now without taking a lot of damage himself. Karen is then going to come in. Klungar is going to throw up the Hidden Power Fire. Figure we might as well make use of the fire, or the Sun, to do as much damage as we can in that turn. Expecting Klungar would have gone out, but he survived. Critical hit, able to give us enough power to do about as much as we were doing in the Sun there. And then this last one not being a crit or Sun boosted, not going to be able enough to finish off the Aggron. Leaving it to Hanu to come in with the Aqua Jet and finish it off. leaving us up against the Rhyperior there. Hanu is going to, I believe, Shell Smash and then take an Earthquake here. No, it throws up the Aqua Jet. Bulky Rhyperior, not going to take that. Throws up a Z move. We had a couple of Z moves this week. I didn't think to use a Z move. I probably should have done, but did not. Hanu is going to go down to that Z move, but thankfully he used up his Z move. And Bert able to come in with close combat up against the ground rock type and finish it off. Another very close battle this week. Thank you so much for participating, Amir. I greatly appreciate it. I always enjoy your little role-playing synopsises of how you've ended up at the current point that we are battling. It's a lot of fun. So, thank you guys so much for participating, all of you guys this week. It was awesome. So many participants. It's great. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It's awesome that so many of you guys are participating, but then people prefer shorter episodes, and yet this is the quickest I can make them. 41 minutes here. We're going to quickly switch over to the spreadsheet and figure out what we need to do there, and I will see you guys back in just a second. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, so here we are in our spreadsheet figuring out what we're supposed to be doing next week. And next week, we are going to be in gym number 4. So our last week in RU will be gym number 4, and we need to determine what type we're going to be. So we're going to go ahead and randomize from 1 to 18 and generate. That gives us 11, which is not a type we've used before, so Psychic. All right, so next week is going to be a Psychic type RU gym. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I know several of you guys are fans of the Psychic typing, so it'll be interesting to see what you guys all come up with. But yeah, there we go. Start building your Psychic type RU gym teams, and I will see you guys out there. I will try not to be as OP as I was in the Fire gym. I promise I will not have more than one of a given type, so you won't see me come in with all dark types or something, but you know, I will, well, that's pretty much the only thing I promise. I'll try not to be super OP, but I won't come at you guys with 2 water types like I did in the Fire gym with Hanu and Dopey. I know that was a struggle for you guys, obviously, to get over, and most of you guys did not. In fact, I think we said, we went undefeated last week, potentially. So, potentially. I'm not sure if that's right. Somebody said that, but I don't know if that's true. I'll have to go back and watch. Anyway, this episode's way too long for me to start rambling on like that. Start building your Psychic RU teams. I will try not to be super OP. I will not have more than 1 Pokemon of a given type. And you guys plan your teams accordingly. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Again, does not have to be a strictly monotype team. If you can make a logical reasoning for why you should have a non-type or an off-type Pokemon on your team, I will accept it. You don't have to, I mean, yeah, just, within reason, build yourself a team that you think is fitting of a Psychic gym. There's lots of examples in the Pokemon world where, the gym trainers, even in game, are not monotype, nor the elite form, so you guys don't have to, every week somebody's like shocked, like, oh, people went off type. Yeah, you can go off type. I say this every time. So yeah, go ahead. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been TortimerTheGreyYT. You guys have been great. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Gonna keep the same times as last week. Again, we had Wednesday kind of backfilled. But we're gonna still just kind of do it because I did have a couple of people in each time slot. But while most of them may have ended up in Wednesday, we're just gonna kind of let it go. So Monday night from 5 to 6 p.m. EST, Tuesday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. EST, and Wednesday afternoon from 12 to 1 p.m. EST are your times. Check that out in the description down below. Get all the information you need. I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.